Hello and welcome. My name is Susan, and I draw and share my progress here with you every day. In today's video, I'll be sharing a little bit about how I started my drawing routine and how it's going as I complete this 20-minute portrait sketch using brush pens. So it all started about 3-4 years ago when I actually got laid off from work and I had a bit of a break before I jumped to my next role at a different company. So I started to draw and paint routinely. I remember one day my dad called me to just see how I'm doing, and I told him on the phone call that I wanted to start to build my art career. And I think one day it'll become my primary source of income. And he just went, okay. I'm sure some of you may have experienced similar things where there's something you want to pursue, but the people around you who you thought would be your biggest champions don't really have your back. And you have to realize that this is actually very normal, especially when it's your parents. That's because they come from a different generation that, for most cases, probably over 2 decades. A lot of things change in the last 2 decades, right? We went from no internet to being connected 24/7, from you stay at the same job your entire life, to you can be totally self-employed and self-sufficient. Once you look at it more objectively and just assess the fact that due to their life experiences and upbringing, it's obvious why they would not be supportive of you or my dad towards me in this situation. This realization didn't come easy for me though. I've always been an overachiever since I was a child and always wanted to gain approval from people around me. Not just my parents, but basically every single person, even a random stranger I don't even know. I would want them to somehow like me and appreciate me. Yeah, I had a problem. It wasn't until when I was much older that I realized that I have this tendency and that it's just not healthy for myself. But once I can look at myself more objectively, as well as those around me who I may have unrealistic expectations from, it becomes clear that I should not take their opinions so seriously. I also think it's easier for me now because I have built my own support system and my own confidence grew. I don't necessarily need my dad nor anyone else's approval other than myself in order to pursue something that may or may not succeed in my life. It's harder, I think, when you feel like you have nothing. But I also think that's the beauty of it. If you truly have nothing, what else do you have to lose to try and give it your all? I lacked the courage when I was younger, and I had to build up my courage throughout the years. But you don't have to. I think anyone can start drawing anytime, any age. After all, I do think it's one of those things where the entry is actually quite low. You don't need much investment to start. Perhaps just your own time and your own effort. I can't remember exactly where I heard this from, but essentially the person's view is that art is not created for yourself, but for others. This isn't a novel concept. It's mentioned by many people for various other forms of creation as well. In software design, which is my trade, the most commonly said thing is, if nobody uses your software, it doesn't matter how good your code is, which is very similar to art, I find. If nobody looks at your art, can you truly say you are a great artist? The philosophical take for art is such that it only has meaning when someone experiences and interprets the work. In literature, similarly, if no one is reading what you wrote and no one felt anything after reading what you wrote, you probably failed at delivering the message. Having said that, while I do believe the importance of sharing your creation, I also think there's nothing wrong with creating things just for yourself. It's a form of practice and a form of self soothing. You don't have to create for an audience. You can be your own audience, and you can be your own judge. One of my childhood favorite authors is Han Han, and he once said, 没有读者的文字，只是自言自语, which translates to words without readers are just talking to yourself. And I really like that saying. I know what he's trying to say is that relevance and connection to an audience are key to being a true writer. But I also like the fact that he described writing for yourself is like talking to yourself. I think this concept is equally applicable to art. When I'm drawing, it's like I'm having a conversation with myself. It's soothing and can be super interesting to just be living in my own head for a moment there. I've mentioned this before on my channel, but when I draw, I really enjoy the moments where I just lose track of time. And I'm just having a moment with my own drawing. It's the process that's meaningful, not the work. The work can be examined, or it doesn't have to be. The process is mine and mine alone. When it comes to finding my own audience, the methods have certainly changed over time. When I was little and I just really enjoyed writing, a lot of what I wrote back then were for myself in the form of journal or unpublished short stories, or my own opinions at the time. While I've always had people praise my work, it wasn't anything substantial. In grade 9, I had more freedom with just using computer and the internet, and I think I found my audience online. There were no social media back then, it's just forums or BBS. But nevertheless, I felt that I found my people who enjoyed reading what I wrote, which later encouraged me to create my own blog online. Well, nowadays, the entry is so much lower for finding your own audience. I find that as long as you want to share, there is a platform for you. I think what's harder is keeping it up. Because even if you had a wonderful viral moment, if you don't keep it up, you will lose your audience. I can't even say that I've built a good audience for myself yet, because that's not really within my own control. But what is within my own control is just to keep it up. There are so many content out there that talks about motivation. I think for many people, they feel that's what they are missing. Motivation. I think motivation can only get you so far though. It can help you get started, but it cannot help you on a daily basis. In other words, it cannot help you keep things up. No one can be motivated 24/7. We're just not like that. We're not robots. We can't be wanting to do what we're supposed to be doing all the time. Even if we know that thing is good for us, even if that is something that you truly wanted to do, truly wanted to achieve, it's still not possible to be doing that thing all the time. So what does work? Well, I'm a true believer in establishing a routine, building habits that work for you. When it's something that just becomes part of your daily ritual, your daily practice, your daily schedule, then it's truly something you can keep up with doing. So how do you establish that for yourself? How do you find what works for you? Well, besides the obvious things such as pick something that you actually enjoy doing, I think the most important thing is to just keep things very, very, very simple. Keep it small and keep it manageable. You can't expect yourself to carve out an hour a day, every single day. So pick a duration that feels really small to you. So for me, that's 20 minutes. Now, it could be different for you, but it should be a duration that's well under what you think is reasonable to achieve. So let's say normally you can draw for an hour, no problem. Then I would cut that down by half and aim just to draw for 30 minutes. You should also keep your subject matter simple, something that's always available to you, something that doesn't require any brain power. There should never be a moment where you had to think to yourself, what should I draw today? So really try to minimize the choices and remove the thought process that you need to go through. Same goes for preparation. There should ideally be zero time wasted. No prep work would be the most optimal. Let's say you already have a desk space reserved for drawing, where the tools that you want to use are right there in front of you. Or it doesn't have to be a desk. It could be a cozy corner in your living room. Or it could be your kitchen island or on your bed. Anywhere is fine. Just make sure it's the same spot and you don't need to prep anything to begin. You don't have to go through a thought process of preparation at all. So that's pretty much it. For me, my process obviously is just 20 minutes, portrait sketch. That's my subject matter. And I use whatever medium, whatever tool I have available on my desk. I keep my desk pretty simple. It's always there. And whenever I want to draw, I'm ready to draw. I have that 20 minutes to spare. I go for it. Happy drawing. Hope you enjoyed the tools and tips I shared today.